Hi, my name is Matt Lewis, and welcome to Math 163. I look forward to working with you this quarter. Before we get into any kind of the formal introductions of how to go about the class, I do want to begin by just acknowledging the setting where this course is going to be taking place. So I'm going to read a life and land acknowledgement. So at this time, I'd like to take a moment and reflect on the lands on which we reside, which are the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of the Yakima Nation. We acknowledge and honor the Yakima people. We also acknowledge that this country would not exist if it wasn't for the free enslaved labor of Black people. We honor the legacy of the African diaspora and Black life, knowledge, and skills stolen due to violence and white supremacy. So please join me in remembrance of Black and Indigenous ancestors who have passed and who have paved the way for us. All right, thank you. So I'm just going to take you through today the Canvas page for our course. I do use WebAssign, which I think most of you, if not all of you, have been using in calculus prior to this. And so I'll definitely go through how my class on WebAssign might differ from your experiences before. But if you haven't used WebAssign and I kind of glaze over too many details, do make sure you just reach out to me and I'd be happy to go through the nuts and bolts of that a little more carefully. But let me start by just sharing my screen here, and we'll take a look together at our Canvas page. So at the very top here, there's a page for just getting started that basically gives the same information in the email that you got sent from me. The first thing I want you to do is to click on Survey. And what I've done is I've just posted 5 questions here for you to answer. And of course, you can put more than just more about yourself than just what's in these 5 questions. But if you could answer these, that'd be wonderful, just so that we can kind of start to get to know each other a little bit. You'll see that I replied to the initial post right down here. And so when you reply, make sure you hit reply on the original post. But I do encourage you to comment on what one another says, if you have a hobby in common or anything like that. I just think it'd be nice to kind of in this very impersonal setting that we're in, make it slightly more personal, at least. And so if you want to reply to someone's post in particular, then just hit reply where they put their answers. So that would be wonderful if that could be the first thing you do before we dive into any particular math content. The syllabus is right here. I'm not going to go through much of this. I think the only thing I really want to point out right now is that when you get onto WebAssign and it asks you to sign up for my class, the class key is this here. So 2915-8988 after this ybcc.cc.wa. So that's what you're typing in for the class key for my course, and then it will put you into the WebAssign class that I've already set up. And as far as the rest of the syllabus, I'm going to, probably for the most part, end up verbally in this video saying most of the important stuff in there. But please do go through it yourself and make sure that you're good about that. So in this course, calculus is hard, right? You've been through 2 calculus classes. You know calculus is hard. And so you're probably going to need help at various points throughout the quarter. So there's 2 things we're going to do in order to get you help. So one is I'm going to hold a daily Zoom meeting that is for our class only. And that's going to be every day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it's not required. Okay, so this is an asynchronous class. So that means that there's no time requirements on when you have to complete things. So yeah, it's not required attendance, but I think it's a really good thing to come to, especially when you have questions. And so that's just going to be a time where, I'm going to be going over homework questions. I'll be going more in depth on things that you have questions about. So you might watch a video and say, okay, I don't really fully understand this. Can you explain it a little bit differently? So we'll be doing things like that in those daily Zoom meetings. And then we'll also have office hours, and the time for office hours will vary. They're on the calendar though, and I'll show you that in a moment. And the office hour, the only difference is that's open to all my classes. So you might have students from my pre-calculus class also coming in. And so there might be situations where, I'll make some breakout rooms and, and kind of hop between them to get everybody the help that they need. And so, so you might be sharing me a little bit with my other students. And so for both of those, you just simply click on this link and it takes you right to a Zoom meeting and I'll be waiting there at the specified times. If you aren't available during a particular daily Zoom meeting or office hour and you need to see me, then just message me on Canvas and just ask if there's another time we can meet, and we'll find a time in my schedule. So I'm always happy to do that. And then also there's Math Care for All, which is the online math center. And it has pretty extensive hours. And let's see, did I write them in here? Oh, that wasn't very helpful. I didn't actually write the Math Center hours in here. So I will do that so that I'll make sure to put those there so you have that information at your fingertips. But they're open for much of the day. They're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then they're open 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And then they also have a lot of hours on Sunday as well. So I'll make sure I post those hours. I just now realized I forgot to do that. All right, and then here's the link that you'll use to get to WebAssign. And I'm going to come back to this in just a minute because a good chunk of your homework will be on WebAssign, but not all of it will. So we'll revisit that in a moment. All right, now what's going to happen with just in terms of how you learn the material is I've created video lessons for all the topics that we're going to cover. And, so you can think of this as, if I was just giving a straight lecture course, these are the lectures I would give. Some of them can get pretty long. So, you might want to break them up into more bite-sized chunks. The thing to remember is the reason these are so long a lot of times is because I would actually be taking multiple days to cover these sections. So, yeah, I don't necessarily recommend doing the entire video in one sitting unless you just have super attention span. I know I don't. So the video lessons are here, and as we move through the chapter, I'll put more videos up. And these video lessons, what's going to happen is I have notes provided for each video lesson. Okay, so I'm going a little out of order here. Come back to these in a moment. But down below in the notes section, here's the full set of notes for the entire class. And then if you'd rather kind of look at them in bite-sized chunks, here's the notes listed by section. Now, when I open up the notes for the entire class, what you'll notice is that it's, this is going to take a minute, but what you'll notice is that there's definitions, example problems, and there's space underneath to do them. And so the best way to approach this is that if you can get access to a printer and print out the full set of notes, and then when you're watching the videos, fill them out as you go, that's going to be really the best way, because then you'll have a full set of notes to study even after the videos. So like if you just take a mental picture of this for a moment, and then if I go back to section 8.1 video lesson, I hit play. You'll notice this is the exact thing that you saw there, right? So this set of notes here is the notes that you see appear in the video are the exact notes that I've provided for you. So it literally is kind of like I'm working on the whiteboard and you're taking notes in your own personal set of notes there. All right, and then let's get out of here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go to the calendar now. So, how do you know when you should be completing your 8.1 notes and your 8.2 notes? Well, look at the calendar on a daily basis. So click on the calendar. Go. All right, so what you're going to see in the calendar is a few different things. First of all, section 8.1 that you see up here and section 8.2 that you see here, this top bar is always telling you what topic you should be working on those days. So section 8.1, the way I would approach this is to say, okay, section 8.1, I should be completing my video notes over these 2 days. I should be starting on the homework over these 2 days. And then by the time I get to Thursday, I really should be moving on for the most part to section 8.2. Now down at the very bottom is where you're going to see when there's actual assignments due. So when it says section 8.1 due, that means the WebAssign homework for section 8.1 is due on that particular day. So I always try to have a buffer day between when you should be done going through the notes and when the WebAssign homework is due, for that to be a day where you can come and ask questions that maybe couldn't quite figure out. So by Thursday, I would hope that most of the 8.1 homework's due, but maybe there's a couple questions that you struggled with. And so that's when you're coming to the Zoom meetings, coming to the office hours, going to Math Care for All in order to get help with those things. And then you can see here, I always tell you when the Zoom meeting is, which actually doesn't vary, it's just 10 to 11 every day. Then the office hours do vary, right? So I'm just reminding you, okay, at 12 p.m. on these days is the office hour. It's 2 p.m. on Fridays. And so you can just check in with this calendar every single day to make sure that you're always on track. Now, if you see this thing says handout 1 due. So a handout assignment is different from the WebAssign. The handout assignment is just a document that I have provided for you that may have a couple of questions that I've come up with and given to you or get taken from another source and given to you. But it also has a lot of book work as well, because WebAssign doesn't always do the greatest job of translating a problem from into a computerized form, right? Sometimes it's just better to do the one that's in the book. So that's what handouts are all about. So if I go back to our page, you saw me go past this really quick. There's a section on handout assignments. So when you see a handout assignment coming up, you want to click on that. And you can see it's got problems from the textbook that I want you to do. And it's also got a couple of problems that I've provided. So what you're going to do is you're going to write all these out on paper. And then when you're finished with the assignment, you're going to take pictures of every page of that work. And once you've taken the pictures, you're then going to go down here to where it says upload handout assignment 1 here. And then you can upload. Well, okay, this is always so strange. I don't know why Canvas does this, but you click on that and then you actually have to hit submit assignment. And then it gives you a place to upload your files. Now, if you already are in the habit of taking pictures of all your work and making it one single PDF document, that's wonderful. I think that's great, and that's probably the easiest for me. But I also don't mind if you just do it a picture at a time. So if you want to just take pictures on your phone and then just upload each page, each picture that you take here, you can just continue to click add another file and then just upload however many pages there are in your homework. So, so either way is fine, but that's how you're going to submit those to me, and then I will grade it and then send it back to you in a Canvas message. So those are the two types of assignments, WebAssign and handout assignments. So speaking of WebAssign, let me go back there really quick. So here's my link to WebAssign. And this is a little bit clunky, so I do apologize for this, but Canvas is going to have all your documents. It's going to have your calendar telling you when things are due. WebAssign is going to have, of course, your WebAssign homework, but it's also going to be your grade book. So when you're looking for your grade, don't look in Canvas, look on WebAssign for your grade. So it's not ideal, but I guess that's just the way I have it set up. So the one thing I do want to do here, though, is to just make sure that you know how I have my homework set up. I'm just going to click on this one, preview the assignment. All right, so the way I have it set up is that you can answer a question 3 times without the problem actually changing. So, so I could put in an answer here, and obviously this isn't a student view, so I can't actually do it. But you can try an answer, try it again, then try it again. Okay. But after the third one, what's going to happen is it's going to show you the answer and it's going to show you a solution. So look, something like this. So there's a short solution there, nice detailed solution. And so what you can do, what you can do is after 3 attempts, you can see the answer, see a solution, and then you can retry a new problem. So for me, there's no limit to how many different problems you can try, but after that third one where it shows you the answer and gives you the solution, then it's going to generate a completely new problem. And as you can see, like this number 2 here, now that's a brand new problem. So it's kind of the same idea, but it definitely has different numbers involved and things like that. And then you can try that problem. So there's no limit to how much of that you can do. So you absolutely should be able to get 100% on homework as long as you're committed to working at it until you get it. And so that's how I have it set up. So should hopefully get pretty much full points on homework. All right. And let's see. So there's WebAssign, there's handout assignments, and then down here is where the exams are going to be. So the exams, you may have taken exams on WebAssign before in previous calc classes. I'm going to do them on Canvas. So it's just going to look different. What's going to happen is you're going to click here. It's going to show you the problems, and you're going to put your answers in on the computer. But most importantly, you're writing all your work down. And then once you finish the exam, then you'll go to upload your exam work. And just like you do for a handout assignment, you'll upload all your work here right away. And as we get closer to our first exam, I will give you some reminders about exactly how that works. But that's kind of the setup here. Here's the class notes that I mentioned before. So like I said, if you can print those out, that's wonderful. Then at the very bottom, there's a couple of things. First, there's the video archive. So these are all the other videos that I'll be moving up toward the top as you need them. But if you ever need to go back later and rewatch a video after it's been a long time, you'll find them down here in the video archive. And then finally, there's a Zoom meeting notes archive. So one of the things that I'll do is when we have our Zoom meetings, understanding that not everyone's going to be able to make it, is all the notes that we take together and problems we do, I'm just going to save those and post them down here. So if you're ever wondering, hey, I missed a Zoom meeting and couldn't make it, you can just click on that and you can see what kind of work we did together. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And you can feel free to get started on the class pretty much right away. Oh, this thing real quick, sorry, a little scattered here. We will be moving into the world of 3 dimensions about 4 weeks into the quarter. And so this thing is what I think is really nice 3D grapher. So when we want to start graphing things in 3 dimensions, obviously your TI-84 calculator is not going to do that. So you can click here and it'll take you to a site that's nice and free to use and actually pretty easy to use. So we'll get to that later. All right. Just clicking here on the getting started. The one other thing I want to remind you of is the test taking agreement. So let me just click on this one here. So what I want you to do with this test taking agreement is to basically just, I want to outline what it is that you're allowed and not allowed to do when taking tests in this class. And then just for you to basically agree to that and then sign your name. So you can either, if you have a nice handy printer, you can print this out and sign your name down here and date it. Or if that is not convenient for you, I have a Word version. Let's go back here. I also put a Word version here that you can click on, and then you can, it's okay if you just type your name into the document. If you don't want to print it out and sign it. So typing your name in does the same thing, and then just send it to me in an email or a Canvas message. And just to be clear on what the contents are here, you're agreeing that you're not going to ask for assistance from other people when you're taking a test, that you're not going to offer assistance to other people, that you're not going to discuss your test with other students until the day after the test is given, because on tests I'm going to give you 24 hours. So, obviously you don't want to pick up your phone and call your friend and say, hey, can you believe he put that problem on, when they haven't taken it yet, right? So just wait till the next day, do that, any kind of stuff like that. If someone approaches you with wanting to share information about the tests, you need to let me know. And you're agreeing you're not going to let the internet assist you, and not use phone apps to assist you, textbooks, personal notes, things like that. So it's your traditional, closed book, closed note test, and I'm just asking to be on the honor system about that. So that's what you're agreeing to. So if you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. But try to get that to me the first few days here so that I just got a record of all that. All right. Well, there will probably be little things that I realized I didn't tell you, and I will probably be, sending you little messages in the day or two to follow up on some of those things. But if there's things that are at all unclear about how to get started in the class, please do let me know. It is a little funky having to go back and forth between Canvas and WebAssign, but just remember, Canvas has your calendar and it's got your documents. WebAssign has your homework and your gradebook. So not the most smooth setup in the world. After, I think, a couple days, you'll get the hang of it. All right, I look forward to having you all in this class, and hope to see a lot of you in the Zoom meetings or office hours in the first week here. So other than that, have a great last couple days before classes officially start. But if you get this video, you can feel free to get started whenever you